Hey, what is up, lovelies? It is Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and I had a very interesting comment made by somebody on one of my poll videos. So this is a Weathering Waves poll video here that I'm going to show you. So this is my polls for this beautiful man right here. And I had a very interesting comment by Dracula TV. Okay, they said, started the game because of your video, and I thought lads is expensive. And I was like, yeah, well, if you straight up buy polls, it's very expensive. However, because it's an open world gacha, there are so many ways of getting polls. It's just more of a what are you willing to spend more, your money or your time kind of situation. And I felt like I wanted to kind of talk about this because it kind of also explains why it's so difficult to grind in Love and Deepspace. So Love and Deepspace, as we all know, is more of a visual novel kind of game. It's one of the I would say one of the most, not controversial, what do you call those? Like, gosh. Unique, like otome gacha games where they sell the experience through the polls and you're going through a main story, but there's no like affinity through main story. You only gain affinity when you get a new card or when you get a new outfit, like those kind of things, which usually are behind paywalls. Now, in order for you to get any of those kinds of things, of course, you need to either spend money or spend a certain amount of time grinding in the game for you to get diamonds and pulls and all of these different things. But in an open world gacha game, not only because it's open world doesn't make it more accessible to gain pulls, but because of the amount of events and the amount of things that players can actually do and achieve that will give them free currency. So if we go to, let's see, if I go here, and then if I go to my game, alright, so this is my personal account, and as you can see here, hold on, let me see if the audio is a little different. Let me take down this. I'm gonna pause this because it's going to play its own like music and own sound effects eventually. But if you look at this, right, you see that the bundles for this game are quite expensive. You don't have any of those like 99-cent things. You don't really get any of those. You have a lot of free things when you reach a certain level. Which is very nice, and you also get these as a newer player in the game, of course. You also have the daily pass that you can get, which is the Lunite subscription. You also have an item exchange in which, you know, you can use some of like your residue pulls, I like to call them, and get some additional pulls either on the weapon banner or also on the what's it called, the limited banner. And also they do something really nice in not Love and Deepspace. They also do something very nice in Weathering Waves, where if you already have the character unlocked, if you already have a single copy of them, you can also get duplicates by just using your quote-unquote leftover currency if you have enough. So this guy, you can get one of his like copies if you have enough of leftover currency. So just going through that, you can definitely see that there is something here that kind of makes you spend a lot more money. Now, the reason why they do this is because in the game itself, the events that they have are numerous. There are so many different kinds of events that you can go through. Not only is the main story updated pretty regularly, I feel like I can play music here, hold on. Alright, so not only are the events on main story updated more regularly, but when you go through main story, of course you get a certain number of pulls, you get a certain number of experience, which of course levels you up in order to unlock those free bundles and whatnot. So you have all of these things, which Love and Deepspace doesn't do. So the main story for Wuwa updates probably every 6 weeks, I would say. Which is drastically different from Love and Deepspace that doesn't update even like 3 times a year. It only updates probably twice or once a year, given that much. So like this year we had main story update when Caleb was introduced into the game, and then during Death and Rebirth, which happened pretty back to back if you ask me. And now that we're ending closer to the year's close, we still don't know if we're going to have any main story update being released. The only hope of us getting main story update is probably, I would assume we would probably get main story update. If we were to get anything, it would happen during the solo rerun, probably after Silas's new myth is released. But that seems really close to the anniversary, and I don't know if they're gonna want to release main story during the anniversary or if they're going to want to release main story during the rerun. I really don't know what Infold is really planning for main story. I'm going to be releasing a video soon talking about how it does feel like they need to release a 6th love interest before the main story gets updated regularly on like a more regular schedule. But you can wait and see until that video comes out, or probably it's already out before this one. But as you can see, there are so many things that you can do in this game, this open world gacha game, where you can go around and take pictures, and get some pulls that way. You can get some currency that way, or you can go ahead and fight this big boss here for whatever and complete the main story around this, and you can get 800 crystals and whatnot. And claimable. And the currency for this is 160 Lunites, I think they're called. 160 Lunites for one pull. So, getting 800 of those really does help. It really does push you along. And then we have claim, thank you. And we have claimables that happen every time a new character is out and whatnot. It doesn't matter if you pull on the banner or not, you will still get these, which are things that do not expire in the game, right? Wuthering Waves does not have any limited currency or pull system like Love and Deepspace does. And then you have the Wind Riding Project, which is another event that you can participate in. This is a permanent event. So you can complete this whether you're a newer player or an older player. Then you have Trial. So you can use these characters in battle and test them out. This is very similar to like the new companions that come out for Myth companions. You can test them out for like 10 currency. Here, if you test them out, you get 20 currency. I kind of just want to show you all of these things to better, I guess, explain why Love and Deepspace is the way it is and why it needs to be fixed. So then you have here also the Echo Hunters. This is something that you can continuously keep doing since like the beginning of the game. Once this is completed, you can't, do it again. There's a lot of things here that you can continuously keep doing, or is finite to like a newer player. A lot of these things I don't actually do myself. Like this is the Awakening Journey. Once you reach level 45, you get 1,000 of these Lunite currencies, which is very nice. And then you get like a special weapon box that you can choose your weapon for your characters. But like you don't really have this on a long-term basis in Love and Deepspace. It takes you a while to get from level 5 to level 45 in this game. For Love and Deepspace, I know there's like a week introduction period that you can do where you have to complete a certain amount of events and a certain amount of things to learn how the game works and all of those different shenanigans. But it's not like they have battle things that you can do for forever in order for you to gain crystals or gain diamonds, gain diamonds and gain pulls. Yes, we have some sort of end game in Love and Deepspace, which is like the Deepspace trials, and then they added on the super hard mode for the Deepspace trials, which is nice. It's an attempt, but it's not something that is still sustainable because those are time gated to a certain amount of trials that you can go through. It's not like you can do deep space trials until you hit a wall. You have to do only 3 for each love interest, and then that's basically it. And not only that, but they limit you to only doing certain love interests on certain days. It's not like all of them are open every single day. So it does make it very, very difficult in order for you to gain any of the resources that you need, 1, to level up your cards, and 2, to even pull for cards in the game, especially if you are a free-to-play player. If you ask me, it is so much easier if you love like open world gacha games and stuff. It is so much easier to gain diamonds and to gain resources for pulls and whatnot in open world gacha games as opposed to Love and Deepspace. They very much limit you on a lot of different things. Like this one is the end game modes that we have, and also just some of these are events. Like this one is an event that ends in like 20 days here, where of course you get the pull currency and whatnot, and you get these rewards here also. Like, can you imagine getting all of these? This is almost 1 pull. All of these, and then these, and then these. There's so much in this game that if you complete it within a certain amount of time, you get so many pulls. Okay, this is why it frustrates me when people say that Love and Deepspace is an incredibly generous game, because it simply isn't. Okay, if you play any other gacha game, you will know that the currency systems in Love and Deepspace are incredibly limited because of what Love and Deepspace actually does. Now, if we were able to have different events, not only one related to the banner that is currently running, but some additional events that people can actually go into. Like, I don't understand why can't we have something that's not related to the event, but like a separate battle event that's running at the same certain time. Like, oh, defeat these, I don't know, 10 deep space trials with any of the love interests. Like, what if you could combine the different cards that you had instead of just being restricted to one love interest? What if you just like compiled it into one, choose your battle companion, and then fight using those? That would be honestly really cool. I mean, I would enjoy doing that just to see if my teams would actually work, so that way even free-to-play players wouldn't be so restricted in pulling, because of course they're very restricted in battle since they can't get enough of the 5-star cards, which means that they don't fulfill a lot of the Stalactrum and all of these different kinds of things. Like, why can't we just have different events running at the same time as the actual main banner event? So you have a main banner event, but then we can also have additional things. It doesn't need to be like a login thing like the heartfelt gift or the 10 days with you. Like, those things are just login events where you're not actually doing anything. Like, even give us like a crane challenge, like, one of the arcade challenges, or give us a kitty cards challenge, change up the rules or something, but give us diamonds as rewards. I don't understand how that's difficult, why that is difficult to give us. There are a lot of things that Love and Deepspace can definitely 100% improve on, and it's very blatant once you've experienced a different kind of gacha game. Like, it's not only Weathering Waves that does this. You have Honkai Star Rail that has these additional like events that people can play. You also have Genshin Impact that has multiple different events that you can play as well, and a lot of these events have stories related to them where you can see and experience more of the love interest and learn more about them, almost like having an event associated with an anecdote or something like that. It would be really nice to have additional events where we can grind systems, or we can grind resources that are just limited on, like, okay, this is only going to run for 2 weeks, this is only going to run for a week and a half or something. That way people don't get bored with the game. At least there could be a time of grinding, there could be a time of rest, and all of these different things. Like, what the heck is going to happen next year when there are going to be back-to-back reruns and they're not going to rerun any of the events? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's gonna keep people entertained during those rerun banners? I don't know what's gonna happen next year, and I'm really hoping that they find a solution to that before next year comes, because it does feel empty when a rerun is rerunning. So that is my personal opinion. I don't know if anybody has any other like pieces of thoughts or whatnot. Ooh, free polls. Yay. Claim all. I'm sorry, distracted. But yeah, there's just a lot of things that that Wuthering Waves and all of these other open world gacha games, like Honkai Star Rail is only semi-open world, you know, and they still give us a lot of polls and a lot of different events to keep us all entertained. It does get stale once you get super used to it, but it's not as stale as Love and Deepspace. I'm gonna tell you that much. I love the game, I love what it can do, and I love what they've done with Otome and Gacha, but they've definitely, you know, dropped the ball in certain areas, if you ask me personally. Anyway, that is all I'm going to talk about for now. Isn't he beautiful, guys? Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I am Lynn the Gacha Goblin. If you would like to hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do so. If you would like to, I don't know, what do you call that? If you would like to hit that subscribe button, please feel free to do so. And if you would like to go over to our Discord, link is in the bio. Alright, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I am Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and I will see you lovelies in the next video. Bye-bye!